Hello everyone, greetings to all. Welcome to our Civil Engineering Objective channel. In this video, we are going to learn about 15 MCQ questions in the topic of RCC structural design with some explanations. Now we will see the first question. In a combined footing, if shear stress exceeds 5 kg per centimeter square, the nominal stirrups provided are. They will given the combined footing, and also they given if the shear stress exceeds 5 kg per centimeter square. So in this condition, what is the nominal stirrups? Please remember, if it is greater than 5 kg per centimeter square means 12-legged nominal stirrups are provided in combined footing. If it is less than 5 kg per centimeter square means 8 or 10 mm 10-legged nominal stirrups are provided. But generally 8-legged stirrups are provided if it is less than 5 kg per centimeter square. So according to this question, the correct answer is option D. 12-legged nominal stirrups are provided if shear stress exceeds 5 kg per centimeter square. Now we will move to the next question. The maximum area of tension reinforcement in beams shall not exceed. So according to IS 456, the maximum area of tensile reinforcement in beam shall not exceed is 0.04 BD. That is 0.04 total cross-sectional area. So the correct answer is 4%. That's equal to 4% of the BD. 4% of the BD. So the correct answer is 4%. The maximum area of tensile reinforcement in beam shall not exceed 4% according to IS 456. Now we will move to the next question. As per IS 456, the pH value of water shall be. So according to IS 456, the pH value of water recommended for construction activity shall not less than 6. So the correct answer is option C. But nominally, the pH value of water recommended for construction activity is 7. But in the case of as per IS 456 means it should not be less than the 6. So the correct answer is option C. Now we will move to the next question. The minimum number of main steel bars provided in RCC. What is the minimum number of main steel bar provided in RCC, like columns or beams? There are 4 options are given. Rectangular column is 4, circular column is 6, octagonal column is 8, all the above. So as per IS 456, for rectangular column means there are 4 minimum bars shall be provided. If it is circular means 6 minimum bars provided. If it is octagonal means 8 minimum bars shall be provided according to IS 456. So option A, B, C, 3 are correct one. So according to this question, the correct answer is all the above. Option D is the correct answer. For rectangular column means 4 bars shall be provided. For circular column means 6 bars shall be provided. For octagonal column means minimum 8 bars shall be provided. Now we will move to the next question. A steel column treated as an intermediate column if slenderness ratio is greater than. They ask what is the intermediate column according to slenderness ratio. They will given steel column. Please remember, they will given steel column. So according to slenderness ratio for a steel column, the slenderness ratio is less than 30 means it is treated as a short column. Please remember, less than 30 means it is treated as a short column. In between 30 to 120 means it is treated as a intermediate column or medium column. If it is greater than 120 means it is treated as a long column. So in question they asked what is the intermediate column according to slenderness ratio. So the correct answer is option A, 30. The slenderness ratio is greater than 30 means the column is treated as a intermediate or median column. Now we will move to the next question. The width of the flange of a T-beam shall be less than. So according to IS 456, the width of the flange of a T-beam shall be less than 1/3 of the effective span of the T-beam, and also shall be less than breadth of the rib plus 12 times the thickness of the slab, and also it should be less than distance between the centers of the T-beam. So according to this question, the correct answer is option D, least of the above. So in these three options, what will be the least of the value? That is the smaller value is treated as the width of the flange of a T-beam according to IS 456. So in this question, the correct answer is option D. Now we will move to the next question. A pre-stressed rectangular beam which carries two concentrated loads W at L by 3 either end and is provided with bent tension with tension P such that the central 1/3 portion of the tendon remains parallel to the longitudinal axis. The maximum dip is. They are given a pre-stressed rectangular beam and which carries two concentrated load W at L by 3 from the either end. They will two concentrated load. They will be accessed at the L by 3 from the either end, and they ask about what is the maximum dip. So in this question, the correct answer is WL divided by 3P. The maximum dip is WL divided by 3P. If it is which carries two concentrated loads W at L by 3 from the both ends, that is either ends. So the correct answer is option C. Now we will move to the next question. Pick up the correct statement from the following. Option A, a pile is a slender member which transfers a load through its lower end on strong strata. Option B, a pile is a slender member which transfers its load to the surrounding soil. Option C, a pile is a slender member which transfers its load by friction. Option D, a pile is a cylindrical body of concrete which transfers the load at a depth greater than its width. So according to this question, the answer is option B. A pile is nothing but it is a slender member which transfers the load that is which transfers its fully load by the surrounding soil. So option B is the correct answer. Now we will move to the next question. A cantilever retaining wall can safely used for a height more than what? Where the cantilever retaining wall shall be used. If it is height, shall not be more than, not, please remember, shall not be more than, that is H, shall not be more than. So for a cantilever retaining wall, it can be safely be used for a 6 meter height, not more than. Wherever the height shall not exceed 6 meter, the cantilever retaining wall can safely be used. So according to this question, the correct answer is option D, 6 meter. So H shall not be greater than 6 meter. Please remember, the height of the cantilever wall shall not be greater than 6 meter means the cantilever retaining wall is provided. Now we will move to the next question. If W is the load on a circular slab of radius R, so W is the load and radius R, the maximum circumferential moment at the center of the slab. They asked the maximum circumferential moment at the center of the slab. So according to this question, the maximum circumferential moment at the center of a slab is 3WR square divided by 16. That is option C is the correct answer. If W is the load on a circular slab of radius R, the maximum circumferential moment at the center of the slab is 3WR square divided by 16. Now we will move to the next question. If bent tension is required to balance a concentrated load W at the center of the span L, the central dip must be at least. They will given the bent tension is required to balancing a central load that is W of a span length L. So what is the central dip? That is central dip to balance a concentrated load. So according to this question, the correct answer is WL divided by 4P. The central dip H must be at least WL divided by 4P. So if bent tendon is required to balance a concentrated load W at the center of the span L, the central dip H must be at least 4WL divided by 4P. So option D is the correct answer. Now we will move to the next question. So bottom bars under the columns are extended into the interior of the footing of the slab to a distance greater than. So according to IS 456, the bottom bars under the columns are extended 42 diameters of the outer edge of the column into the interior of the footing of the slab to a distance. So they asked what is the distance of the bottom bars extended into the footing. So according to IS 456, the interior footing of the slab to a distance greater than 42 diameters from the outer edge of the column. Option C is the correct answer. We already know all the column bars should be extended into the footing. So that extended portion must be greater than the 42 diameters from the outer edge of the column. This is outer edge, means they must be greater than 42 diameters of the outer edge of the column. So according to this question, the correct answer is option C. Now we will move to the next question. The diameter of the longitudinal bar of a column shall never be less than. So according to IS 456, the longitudinal diameter of the bar of a column shall not be less than 12 millimeter. So option D is the correct answer. So the diameter of the longitudinal bars of a column shall never be less than 12 millimeter. Now we will move to the next question. The design of a retaining wall assumes that the retained earth. So while designing the retaining wall, we assume that the retained earth must be dry and must be free from cohesive, and it consists of granular particles, and also it is not cohesive. So according to this question, the correct answer is all the above. While we designing the retaining wall, we must assume that the retained earth is dry and the retained earth is free from moisture and the retained earth is not cohesive and the retained earth consists of granular particles. So the correct answer is option E. Now we will move to the next question. So dimensions of a beam need to be changed if the shear stress is more than. So dimensions of a beam need to be changed if the shear stress is more than. So according to this question, the correct answer is 20 kg per centimeter square. If the shear stress of a beam is more than 20 kg per centimeter